Hey, what's up, everybody? It is Saturday. We're looking at XRP. If you look at the whole market, though, it's kind of green today, which is pretty nice to see on a Saturday. That's always welcomed, right? Because we always want to pump at the end of the week, not the beginning of the week. Because if you pump at the beginning of the week, you're more than likely to dump towards the end of the week, right? And if we know that Sundays are typically bearish, low volume trading days anyway, you really want the candle, which in this case, it's this weekly candle. Um, where's my arrow? Right here. So this weekly candle looks nice and healthy, right? The candle, last week's candle ended here. This candle opened, and then you can see what happened. We wicked below. We tested the waters of this wick, and then throughout the week, the candle grew. So we are getting we're about halfway there to the next swing high, which is always good to see. So at the end of the day, to me, I want to see, let's go to the daily. I want to see if we could get through these retrace levels. Now, tomorrow is Sunday, and I don't know how the end of the day is going to play out, but I would imagine we would have some kind of consolidation in here and up until probably maybe next week, sometime maybe Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So by Thursday, we want to be breaking out of this swing high. Let's see if we could do it, because at the end of the day, this thing is looking really, really primed for a big decision, right? And when I mean big decision, I mean, let's look at the big boy chart here. A big decision meaning, are we going to break out now, or is this a flat and then we break out in 3 months from now? That's the big decision. I think we could break out now. I like the way the Bitcoin dominance chart is looking. I like the way Bitcoin is looking. So this, to me, the reason I don't think that this is going to be a flat right here, which it could be, but the reason I don't think it's going to be a flat is because if you look at this on the monthly time frame, look at this right here. You got a base down there. You got 1, 2, 3, 4 months of sideways basing, right? So generally, when you have a big base, you don't need to have like an A, B, C coming down, right? Because you already had your ABC. Your ABC was right there. It was a flat. Can't see it because I'm on the monthly, but it's there. Versus having the shape, having that three-wave shape like this, right? You could see we come down, we come up. That's an ABC. But if you notice, this is flat. So that's like if I'm going like this, if I'm going down and then flat for a while, then back up, it's you have more of that cup look. You have that cup look to it. Plus you got through the retracement levels. So, guys, we are in the month of August, and right now this is the highest monthly candle in XRP history by a little bit here. Uh, Definitely by a lot when you look at this over here. So let me put some lines. There we go. We got one line there. And let's put the other line on the top of that monthly close. So you could see I have one line on the top of that significant historic close. And I also have a line on this close. And you could see what the price has done over the last 7.5 years, which nobody talks about, really. I don't see anyone on YouTube talking about how massive this base is. And like I'll give you an example. I was watching Paul Barron yesterday, and he had a trader on, and he's great. He's a good guy, and he's smart and everything. But to me, it's like, if you're going to talk about XRP, you got to start all the way zoomed out to really understand what you're talking about, what you're getting into, what you're dealing with here, right? And so many people are so hyper focused on what's the next move that they look at this, for example, this is what they're looking at, right? And that's a lot of data. That's a lot of data. But at the end of the day, it's like, well, if you want the edge of where it's going, you got to zoom out to see exactly where we are. And you can see where we are, right? First of all, this is a message. What, right? What is the message in this chart? The message is, let's start at the very beginning, right? XRP came out. Actually, let's go to the market cap chart because this might be a little bit better. So you could see right here, market started, right? Had that initial sell-off, pumped. You had that big first rally. After that rally, you kind of had like, you know, like a rise, crash, retrace, reaccumulation, right? And then what did we do? We blasted off. So we already know that, right? Then what happened? So we had our first significant rally. It put XRP on the map. It put XRP in the spotlight. Even Anthony Pompliano was talking about how awesome XRP is going to be. He tweeted out, the Bitcoin Maxi himself tweeted out during that time, oh, Bitcoin was great, but wait until you see XRP. So, and now he doesn't even speak of its existence anymore, right? Interesting. So, I wonder who set him straight, right? Because if you are a Bitcoin billionaire, millionaire, and you got in, or in the early days, you have to do narrative control for people coming in, because people coming in, they're shopping around. And if let's say I have $100 million and 80% of my net worth is in Bitcoin, what do you think psychologically I'm going to do? I'm going to talk Bitcoin up like a mother. But what else am I going to do? I'm going to shoot down the competition. What is the biggest competition? People say Ethereum. No, it's not. It's XRP. That's the threat, because Ethereum is not the same as Bitcoin, right? So you could put smart contracts on Ethereum. You could put smart contracts on the XRP ledger. You cannot do that with Bitcoin. Bitcoin is digital gold. It is meant to be in a safe. It's like a 1950s Ferrari. You don't drive that beautiful classic car every day. No one does. Even the richest people in the world do not do that. Why? Because you have to preserve it. You have to make, you drive it maybe once in a while, right? Whereas XRP is a semi-truck. It's an 18-wheeler. It's a utility vehicle. So you load it up with all kinds of stuff and you travel it all over the world, right? I would even go to say it's a cargo plane. There you go. So you don't, that's the difference, right? But, and I digress, but to me, right, this level that we're at is the most critical level, and you could feel it in the air. You could feel it in the air. You could feel what's going on, right? So let's go to the monthly here. There we go. And essentially, right, what we have is we have this beautiful cup. We cupped into the resistance, and then we cupped into it again, right? Forming this W pattern. I don't know why nobody talks about that. Because to me, that's the most important part of the chart. It's the structure. It's what it looks like, right? XRP is a super hot model walking down the runway, and we are observing this model. And to me, it's the most beautiful one. Because of why? Because the aesthetics, right? Aesthetics. That's what modeling is the aesthetics of what it looks like, right? So what this looks like to me is the best looking chart. Why is it better? Why is it better than Bitcoin? Because if you look at Bitcoin, look at the difference, right? Let's put XRP and Bitcoin side by side, and I want you to tell me which one do you think looks better? And now, to the untrained eye, you could say, oh, well, Bitcoin looks to be stronger because Bitcoin, is pumping here, right? It's pumping. It looks strong, right? It looks attractive. It looks like a very beautiful thing, right? But underneath all of that, you have a lot of baggage. So be aware. But no, seriously, if you look at both charts, what do you see, right? This, in my opinion, you could say is bullish, more bullish than this. And when you talk in terms of price, yes, it is more bullish because it's gone up more. But as an investor, which one would I rather own today, right this second, right now, this moment? Would I want one that started way down here, now it's way at the very, very, very top? Notice Bitcoin has no base, right? It comes up, it pulls back. It comes up, it pulls back. It comes up, it pulls back. It comes up. So there's no real rest period, right? Bitcoin is running 1,000,000 miles an hour. It's tired. It's getting old. It needs rest, right? So, but if you look at XRP, XRP has been going sideways. You could say, well, that's bad. No, that's good because it's resting, it's resting, it's resting. And it rested so much that it had this massive explosion, right? So now here we are again, 7 years here, right? And to put that in perspective, that is like Bitcoin right here. So this, if you just, let's go from right here. So if you just go from right there, you could see the difference, right? So here's your high, right? And then here's a really massive new all-time high, but look, you have a lower high. And then what do you have down here? A V bottom. What do you have over here? Consolidation. This chart is so much healthier, it's so much better because it took its time. Now you could say, well, because it's taking its time, it's not as bullish. But no, because it's taking its time, it's going to have a much better effect, right? Because how is it, if we take this and kind of zoom out a little bit, I'm expecting a massive candle out of here. How are we going to get a massive candle? We could get a massive candle out of Bitcoin, but it's going to be so much harder to do, right? You can also see Bitcoin is waning down. You could start to see, like, you come up, here's a high, then it's going tighter and tighter and tighter and tighter, and eventually it's going to round out. It's going to round out, and it's going to have a hard time. Whereas XRP is like, hey, I've been hibernating for the last 7-8 years. I'm ready to go, right? So it's completely different. So I have no idea why Michael Saylor would even want Bitcoin if he even understands what this chart is, right? So again, you're building a step, right? This is a step. You're stepping up, you're stepping up, you're stepping, right? So I can't stress enough how incredibly bullish this chart really is. From a cup, from a W pattern, from just an overall structure, right? So if you had $15, why would you buy Bitcoin? It makes literally no sense. So anyways, if you go back to Bitcoin real quick, so Bitcoin is at 116,000. Let's say Bitcoin goes up to $500,000. Oh my God, $500,000? No way. That's so crazy. That's insane. $500,000, right? Let's go to $500,000. Guys, you go to $500,000. That's not even 400%. That's only 330%. Sell your Bitcoin. I don't understand why you still have it. I'm just kidding. That's not financial advice. That is not financial advice. But honestly, if I'm telling myself, Brandon, please sell your Bitcoin. Do you and your family a big favor. They will thank you so much later on. It makes literally no sense to hold Bitcoin. So if Bitcoin goes to $500,000, first of all, it will go to $500,000 at some point in its life. But how long is that going to take? It's not going to happen. I can tell you without a doubt, it is not going to happen this year. It will not happen this year. What's the highest it can go to? Probably 200K. That's only 75%. Why the hell would I give a crap about 75%? Because I'm not rich, right? So if I am investing, a couple $100 at a time, right? Because if I'm accumulating every month or every week, let's say my crypto allowance is $300 a month or $200 a month. That's kind of a lot of money for some people, right? A month, that's like more than an electricity bill. That's just another bill, right? But it's not a lot of money still, because so if I had $200 a month and I went up 76%, that's okay, but it's not that big of a deal, right? But if I was Michael Saylor and I had $50 million, well then yeah, you're going to make some serious money because you got some serious money in it. You're going to make millions and millions of dollars. But if someone only has, you're in the thousands, right? Some of us are in the thousands, some of us are in the tens of thousands, right? Some of us are in the hundreds of thousands, but not too many people are in the millions, right? So if you're not in the millions, there's no reason to own Bitcoin. Just like if you're not in the millions, there's no reason to own gold, really. It's better to own silver, right? You want the asset that's going to give you the most bang for your buck. And you could say, well, yeah, but that asset could be more riskier. But hell no. If you look at the chart, yes, back over here was riskier over here, right? First of all, holding Bitcoin, let's look at XRP versus Bitcoin. And this is the real chart right here, if I could find it really quick. First of all, let's look at Bitcoin dominance for a second. You can see how Bitcoin dominance looks, right? So you have point A, you have point B, and look where we're at, guys. Just think about that for a second. We're at point C right now. This is the most hardest part to get through, right? Because you're in the retrace levels, and you got a bearish engulfing candle to the downside. So just that right there says hell no for XRP, or hell no for Bitcoin. You want to, because this looks like it's got to come down, right? It looks like it needs to come down. So if it needs to come down, why would I be in Bitcoin? It makes no sense. So if I go to XRP versus Bitcoin, and you look at this chart, you could see how unbelievable it looks, right? Look how many touches this is, right? This is a lot, all right? So let's go here, and then we're going to put one more right there. Okay, so that's your zone. So if I take an arrow, you could see, starting from here, these are 2-month candles, guys. 2-month candles. So look at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And we'll skip that one. 10, 11, 12, 13. And then we'll skip that. 14. Skip that. 15. 16, 17, 18, 18 and a half almost. So 18, guys. 18. So 18 times 2 is 36. That's 36 months of beating. I'm hitting you. I'm hitting you. I'm hitting you. I'm hitting you. I'm weakening you. I'm weakening you. Right? I'm weakening you. I'm really weakening you. Eventually, this is going to break. The more times this is like a piece of drywall, and you're punching it, 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 you're punching it. What's going to happen? It's going to break. It's going to break. It can't hold it anymore, right? And that's why you have mass Bitcoin maxi hysteria when you get back to this range, because they know. And I don't think there's, like, if I was a multi-million-dollar Bitcoin maxi, I don't know. I would probably be trading XRP behind the scenes. It's like when Trump got elected for the first time. A lot of people said, oh, yeah, I don't like Trump. But they went and voted for him. And it's like, oh, I don't like XRP. I'm a Bitcoin guy. I'm an OG Bitcoin guy, right? But behind the scenes, I guarantee they're buying XRP. I guarantee they're trading it. If they had any brain cells, because if they understand charts, which, you know, you got millions of dollars, you know charts, right? They know where Bitcoin is. They know where XRP is. But they don't say they come out and buy XRP, right? They don't want to tell people that. But they will tell when we break out, and we get up here, that's when they're going to say, oh yeah, I bought some XRP, right? But by that time, it's already too late, because I don't know if this is going to break out into new all-time highs. It's going to be very hard, because XRP is a cycle, almost a cycle and a half behind, right? So I think XRP, well, I believe XRP can get back to this dotted line. But anything after that, it's going to be a challenge. So if I was a Bitcoin maxi and I hated XRP, but I love Bitcoin, and I didn't want people to know that I bought XRP, I didn't want people to know that I traded it, because then I'll ruin my multi-million-dollar public image, right? Because remember, these guys have to keep an optic image, the Bitcoin maxis. They have to keep the narrative, because if you say, oh yeah, I bought this XRP, they're going to go, well, then I want to buy it, right? They can't do that, because they have to keep everyone in Bitcoin, right? Because that's where all of their wealth is at. They need to keep that wealth growing, and the way they do that is to keep the narrative going. But behind the scenes, what they don't tell you is that they are trading Bitcoin for XRP, because we could see it in the chart. We could see this is not just retail. This is retail, this is institution, but in order to break this massive, strong resistance, you're going to need some serious money. And who has serious money? The Bitcoin guys, the Bitcoin maxis. They have a lot of money in Bitcoin, right? So they've already made tremendous amounts of wealth. So what do you think they're going to do? They want more wealth. What are they going to do? They're going to trade their Bitcoin for XRP, right? And then when we get up here, they're going to trade it back into Bitcoin. They may not tell you that, but that's what they're doing, right? Because you don't have to like XRP. It's not about XRP. It's about USD, right? This is what it's all about. This is what we really want, right? It's about the dollar. So anything, the Bitcoin guys, they don't really care as long as they're making this, right? Which you shouldn't measure it in USD. You could measure, and a lot of guys measure their value in Satoshis, right? Well, in order to get more Satoshis, you need more USD. In order to get more USD, you need an asset that's going to give it to you. And that's XRP, right? From a liquidity perspective, because these multi-million-dollar guys, they're not going to go out and buy a meme coin. There's not a lot of liquidity in it, right? They're not going to buy a coin outside the top 10. It's just they're not going to get their orders filled. There's not enough volume to fill those big orders. So they have to stay with the top dogs. That's why Ethereum is, and XRP. So, but you could see, look at this double bottom here, right? You have this reaccumulation. Look at this sideways box in here, right? So we're revving up, right? We're coming back down, and we're just idling. So we're ready to go. The big question is, if we zoom in on the monthly, and you can even see clearly here, right? If you wanted to, you could say, 3 waves. Wait. No. Actually, it's like this. So you have 3 waves up, you have 3 waves down, and now you want 5 waves up. 3, 3, 5. A, B, C, right? So that's a 3-wave move. So because you have 1, 2, 3 waves down, and you had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? So 1, 2, 3 waves down, 3 waves up, but we don't have 3 waves up yet. We need to come up here, 3 waves up. And then once you get up here, you'd probably get 3 waves back down, and then we could probably break above that level. So I don't know if XRP is going to break it this cycle, but if we do get up here and then we do come back down in 3, we could probably break the all-time high sometime by 2028, 2029, 2030, something like that. Damn, that's a long ass time, man. That's a long time. And maybe even longer than that, depending how long it has to accumulate. So you could say like a rise, a crash, a retrace, reaccumulation, sideways, blast off. That's like 5 years from now. I mean, it could be a lot sooner. For example, this could end like really fast, like sometime this year, right? And then down, and then up, and then down, and then up. So that's like just eyeballing it from a drawing. That's June 2028. So June 26, June 27, June 20. That's 3 years. I mean, that still seems very long. I don't know. I'm just matching it based off how long that took. But here's the thing. I think things will move a lot faster because we have less resistance in terms of government regulation and all that. So government's actually encouraging crypto businesses, encouraging blockchain innovation, encouraging institutional, right? And that's what we want. Before, it was a big question mark. Well, should we buy it? Should we not? Right? So, once we get a breakout, probably a mid-cycle correction, then a continuation. So let's go back to XRP here. And XRP is actually down today. Everything else is up. So why the hell are we talking about XRP? Well, because to me, it's really important that we get a strong weekly candle, which we're doing, but then also we have to talk about the small time frames. So we're still at a very high risk because we still don't know if this is going to be 3, 3, and 3, and then go, which could take several more months. Or if this is a flat and this is going to continue to go, which I hope that's the case. But then also, another thing is we don't know if this is going to break out or if this is going to be an A, B, C, and then break out. Which one's it going to be? I don't know. What do you mean you don't know? Well, we will know. We will know because you can see where are we? You got point A, point B, and you got point C. You're in the most challenging place, right? Which is in the retrace level. This is the most high risk place. High risk is not at the top. It's not at the bottom. It's in the middle. That's the most highest riskiest part because you're in the retrace levels, right? So, because we don't know if it's going to be a more complex wave. So if we come down here, you could see we had a 702 retrace. So we have to flag out in here and then break out. That's what we want to see. But if this is like 3 and then we come down in 3 like this and we come way back down here and then we go back up in 3, that's going to give us more of a 3-wave B wave, and then I would expect maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down and then go up, kind of like a double bottom in here. So if we look back over here, I think we've seen something like that before. Look at, oh, would you look at that, ladies and gentlemen? I mean, both of them. So we should expect some kind of correction, maybe something like that. Maybe not as big, right? But you could see what happened here. Actually, let's go to the 1 hour and then let's look at this. Wait a minute, I'm way over here. Let's look at this correction from the 1 hour, and then we can take kind of like a bars pattern, because you could see, okay, so for example, yeah, let's just do the bars pattern. So we'll take that, and then we'll go there, and then we'll go up so that I can drag it back over here. So you can kind of see, right? It's not proportional, but you have an impulse, right? You come down, and then you have this three-way move up in the retrace, right? Because again, you have point A, point B, and point C. And look what happened in point C. We didn't just break out. What happened? We came down, and then we went sideways, and then we went. So that could be what's playing out now, right? Something like this. I'm just going to try to fit it in there. Yeah, there we go. So we could come back down, and basically what this is a rise, crash, retrace, reaccumulation sideways, right? So it doesn't mean we're just going to break out now. We could come up here and then come back down and then kind of swoop around. It could be like a flat. It could come up a little bit more, then come down. So it's really tricky because you're in the retrace levels. And I will tell you that you're flipping green, red, green, red. When you do that, just like back over here, green, red, what happened? You dropped, right? Versus, kind of like over here. You come down, green, red, then you pump, right? So, but, that's okay if we're doing that. So if we zoom in a little bit closer, you could see we're getting a three-wave development here. Oh yeah, you could see it, right? You got 3 down, you got 3 up, and this looks like it's gonna come like this. We're probably gonna trend sideways a little bit, and then Sunday probably drop, and then Monday, today is the 9th, and we're gonna, so from here to here is Sunday. Actually, all of this would be like Sunday in here. Sunday, Monday, right? So if that could be down, because tomorrow is Sunday, but then you have all of midnight and all that. So this is shaping up to be, it makes sense based on where we are in the middle of the week for this to come down and then pop up. So that's what I think, that's what I expect, that's what I'm looking for. Now, it could be a little different. It could be, for example, that we have kind of a move like this. Okay, and in that situation, you could either go from there and flag out and go from there, or you could come back down in 3. So it would be 3, complex 3, go. And that would create your base. And I think that's a good idea. So it could be that path or this path, 3, 3, 3, and then go. So those are the two pathways potentially, right? Yeah, we could just get a simple move like this, right? So there you go. That's basically it for XRP. So let's look at other stuff. Gold. Gold is... So Trump put tariffs on gold, and we saw that the something spiked, the futures market spiked. So let's look at that for a minute. If we look at gold, gold futures. Maybe this one's closed. One of them was open. Well, anyways, I thought I saw a pump, but maybe it was a different time frame. But basically, is it finished? It could be. It could be finished, right? You have 3 down. You come up here like 3 and 3, and then maybe we get some kind of 3 like that. Oh, okay, yeah, I see it. So 3, 3, and then 3, and then that whole thing is 3. So 3 down, 3 up, and then we can either break out from here or then come back down and 3, then break out later. So we'll see. We'll see. But let's look at, oh, look at THETA. It's making its way. It's making its way. Yeah, it's making its way towards the, I mean, it's in the retrace levels now, so that's good. So, we've been pumping a little bit here. If we compare that to XRP, XRP did it in one candle. THETA took many candles, but it was a little bit bigger, I think. But, so yeah, THETA, again, it could be a Wyckoff scenario, right? Which, could be something like this, right? But let's just say one thing here real quick. So for THETA, if I could find the chart real quick. There we go. So I think THETA is going to come back up here. I've been saying that for a while. And how is it going to get there is a challenging thing. But, the big wave we just went through was this wave right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? And you can see all of the bullish divergence on there, right? Even going up to the weekly and above. Like here's the 8-day chart, and you can see there's the bullish divergence. So what does the MACD say? This is going to be interesting. So let's go. What am I doing? Oh, let's look at the MACD, which is moving average convergence divergence. And then this, we'll get rid of the RSI. So look at the 8-day. This is just the first time frame, but look at the 8-day. You got a bullish crossover, right? You got bullish momentum. So it looks phenomenal on the 8-day. Now let me do this. I'm going to put XRP on top, and then I'm going to put THETA also on top, so that when I look at it, I could go back down to XRP, and you could see XRP 8-day MACD also looks pretty good. I'm just kind of comparing the two. Okay, so let's look at the weekly. Wow, weekly looks great. I mean, look at wow. Look at the weekly MACD, guys. That is bullish, right? You came all the way up. You had this three-way pullback, and now you have it's converging, right? The MACD is converging. So put the price back on. And you could see that the bullish divergence here, even on the MACD. See that? And then if we added the RSI, you can also see that. The EMA ribbon is what we got to get through. But let's look at the monthly. So the monthly is a disaster. It is a literal disaster. Looks terrible. But what is good about it? Here, I'll tell you what's good. This is good right here. So you could see this is starting to flatten out. That's good. And you can start to see a little bit more positive momentum. So if we could get like this and then bust out of there, it could be 3 months or so. We'll see. But I think the week or let's look at the daily. Yeah, the daily is just not there. It's got to be the weekly. The weekly is probably the best in terms of capturing what's really going on here with theta. So if we go back over here, look what happened over here, right? You had that positive momentum. You had kind of a three-way pullback. And then you just exploded, like gnarly explosion, right? And look what it did to the chart. You know, this is like a heartbeat. You know, it's very interesting, you know, when you look at it like that. So MACD looks great. The weekly candle looks pretty good. You could see this is a break, a big engulfing candle, and then this candle came up to test it 50, 60, 70% of that candle. So we could have another red candle all the way back down and then break out, you know, like for, you know, testing. Trying to see if there's an example here. Like, see how this candle was completely red, then this candle engulfed it. So if we could get a little bit more, right, get a little doji here, and then start going. One way to look at it. But ultimately, we're looking at a retrace. So is there any other indicators? What about the Lucid SAR? Oh yeah, so we're coming up on the Lucid SAR very soon here. Look at this, guys. Yeah, so we want these stars to come down and then the price to break out. Pretty simple, right? Just like back over here. So anything else? I mean, it's basically building a range, right? It's building a base. And let's get rid of that. And let me see, standby. Yeah, so these are the SMAs, 10, 20, 50, 200. The bull market support band. Oh yeah, the bull market support band is got to be one of the most important things. So you could see, oh, by the way, remember when we had the weekly 9, you could see it printed. We had this 9 here, it printed these red dots, and you could see it's been respecting those red dots. And actually these red dots are where it came down to backtest. So I'll just put this right here. I'll use that as my line right there. And right, we had a 9. We broke the 9 and activated it, but then it came down, it took the low, created the divergence, right? It was a sweep, a liquidity grab. You could see we grabbed the liquidity, we pumped up, and we broke above those red dots again, activating the 9 again, right? And now we're kind of flagging out in the bull market support band. So ultimately, we want this thing to get going, and I think that's what's going to happen. Because ultimately, I think this is going to be the W model, right? Kind of like XRP in a way, right? Where you had a W. This could also be that W pattern, right? But even more so would be Ethereum, right? The Ethereum model. And this, yeah, let's just get it on both on the weekly here. So there you go, right? Let me get rid of that. Get rid of that. So Ethereum hit the 3.414, and then let's put that there. That would be the equivalent of Theta hitting, you know, between, let's say, $45 and $50. And then we'll get rid of that. Okay, and then we'll put them both side by side. There we go. Basically, that's what we're looking at here in terms of how bullish Theta could really be if it was, you know, in a serious bull trend, which I think is very possible. Now, here's what I'll say. There's two options. Option one, we have the Ethereum model, right, which is a W pattern. You have the W pattern, right? And basically, you would start rampaging to the upside here, which seems almost surreal. It doesn't seem real. Like, it doesn't seem like that would happen. It seems totally out of, but it could, right? Because you look at the chart, it's the same kind of setup, right? Of course, it was a little different because we had C19. It was a big drop, then a really hard snap, but that snap could be triggered by anything really, right? We broke above the downward resistance line. So, and you know, we got up here, so that'd be like getting up there, breaking it. But anyways, there's this idea, but then you also have the other idea, which is 3 up, 3 down, and then you have, you know, basically a move back up here, and that's it. And it's short-lived. And either that can turn into something bigger later on, but that's for another day. But that's kind of what we're looking at, right? So those are the two ideas. So what is the other idea? The other idea is that this just gets up to here in the retrace levels, and that's it. That's all we got. And it would probably be like 3, 3, and then 3 later, and then continue. So no matter what, I think we're going up, right? Now, if we had some type of event that you know, broke us, whoops, that broke us to the downside, then this would be an A, B, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down for C. So if it does break down, it narrows down to one idea. If it breaks up, we still have three potentials. But either way, we should be excited. So you can also say that similar with some of these other coins, right? Like AVAX, right? Come down, come pump, pump, down, down, retrace, retrace, three-way pullback, explosion, explosion, double bottom. Well, kind of more of a higher low than anything. So, and then also SHIB, same thing, right? You could see SHIB. But SHIB looks better because it has a better base. So, you could see. So yeah, I think SHIB is looks really. I love the chart. I love the way it looks. And let's see, do we have any? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I don't know what happened to. Let's try. Wait, do I have it on here? Yeah, I want to do. Okay, yeah. So I want to see. Oh yeah, the MACD looks great. It's coming up. I don't know about the 2 week. 2 weeks got some work, but you could see it's soon going to cross. You could see the bullish momentum coming here. So everything's looking good for crypto. It's the same thing as theta, right? You got 5 waves down, you got the divergence, you're building a base. The whole idea here is to get back up to the retrace levels, and then we'll see what happens. Because what we're looking at here is what? Point A, point B, what comes next? You got point C, and that's going to be the most challenging spot, right? Could be all over at that point. We don't know. So in terms of what's going on right now, 2 things. We want this to be going up, or we want this to be kind of like doing something like that, getting a 3-way moves. But either way, I think it's looking good. Now, I'd keep an eye on also Litecoin. This guy has also been pressure cooking for 7.5 years, massively. And I mean, it's definitely one of the coins that's been pressure cooking, right? So you can see how significant that trend line is. Let's go up to the weekly here. Bull market support band. We're definitely over that. So yeah, it's all about breaking above that line and getting back to this line here. So that's kind of your gray area, kind of where XRP is at right now. Well, maybe a little bit higher. That's more your gray area. So, but yeah, we're at a very significant level. And then also, like when you look at XRP versus Bitcoin, you know, you're hitting it, you're hitting it. So at some point, this thing should be breaking here. So we'll see. ADA looks great. I mean, you can see we're right there. So You could say it already broke out. I mean, 88 looks really good. You know, because again, you had 3 down, you had 3 up, and then you had 3 back down. And then you had a 1, 2, and then this is another 1. And this could be A, B, C for 2, or it could be 2 is here. But either way, I think we should pump. So yeah, it's looking. So here's 2 of my trades here. ADA. I got in at 75. It's 81, up about 60% so far. A link, and we got SHIB and AVAX. So doing pretty good. Let's keep it going. And then of course I got XRP over here at 309. So all of these change, you know, because I'm buying it, I'm selling it, I'm getting more, I'm selling some. So it's always rotating. But ADA looks really beautiful because you had this massive impulse, but you had this 3-wave pullback, this zigzag here, and then you perfectly back tested not only the bull market support band, but also this support area. You had a big 1-2, and then you're flying up here. Now you're point A, point B. Now you're in point C. We're in point C, right? So, and it still looks like it's got more to go. You are kind of flagging a little bit here. I'm curious to see if we get a little bit of a push, and then Sunday we kind of sell down. We don't want to pump on Sundays. We you know, Sundays we kind of want it to just chill out. Even Mondays, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday is bad. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, we want to be good. So that's just, it doesn't have to be that way, but the reason I like it to be that way is because then you get a stronger weekly close. And look at that close. Look at that bullish engulfing candle. You see, if we pumped like this on Monday, then by Saturday we would have already sold off and we wouldn't have such a strong candle. So this is a good thing. So there we go. I know, guys, that the scammers are all in the comments. I know it's just basically either I can turn the comments off or just let them go. I could also moderate the comments, but it's just a lot to deal with. I mean, I don't just, you know, deleting every comment or approving every comment. It's just something that, I don't know, like I'd need a moderator for that. But you know, if you guys are members, I can pretty much see your comments. Sometimes they get buried because there's so many scam comments. So if I don't get to your questions, believe me, I will get to your question. If I don't get to it, then just post it again. Just keep posting it, and I will see it. I'm trying to figure out what to do with the scammers. You know who they are. They talk about whatever in there. So just, I would say just be a little patient with me here. But anyways, I think that's it. You know, there's really nothing else. Filecoin looks insane. If this Filecoin ever came back to here, right? Point A, point B, point C, that is a monster move, guys. I would probably want to buy some Filecoin. That's 2,000%. Spot position, I would say. Okay, anything else? Let's see if there's any winners here. 4%, 6% Chainlink. Look, Chainlink. Chainlink looking really good. See, that's engulfed completely above the bull market support band. I love it. Anything else? Before, if you can hit that like button, by the way. What's Monero doing? Okay, so Monero had a beautiful three-way pullback. We looked at it, right? Monero, look at Monero. It looks awesome. It looks just like XRP. You have a rise, crash, retrace, reaccumulation. You went sideways for a long ass time. Pardon my French, but this is a three-wave pullback. This is a three-way pullback. This is a three-way pullback. Pump, 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 right? What do you think is going to happen next? This is like a 1-2, 1-2, 1-2, guys. It looks really insane to me. So you got Bohm over here. Don't think I forgot about Bohm. I mean, I know. I mean, I'm just focusing on the more important ones right now, but you got a little bit of an ascending triangle here, so I would imagine it's going to get squeezed. And if it does get squeezed, you could see a pretty nice move up to, you know, that just getting back up to there is like a 5x. I didn't realize how big that was. Wow. Well, between 2 and 5x for Bohm, just to get back to the retrace levels. And then this one's been a disaster. THETA. It's no longer a 1-2. So that one's just not on my radar anymore, really. Near is amazing. It looks just like AVAX. It looks like SHIB. It looks like THETA. It's got that three-way pullback. It's consolidating like Wyckoff style. So let's look at THETA Fuel. THETA Fuel is also looking quite lovely. You know, you're at the lows. You could say, well, it's not what I want it to be, but you know, this is just giving us more time to accumulate. Look how long it's given you to buy. That's a lot of paychecks here, right? So I would say between March and August. So March, April, May, June, July, August. That's 6 months, right? Like 5-6 months. Okay. So let's say it's 6 months. Well, most people get paid twice a month. So that's 12 paychecks. And I'm not saying put all your 12 paychecks, but if you took just $50 out of each paycheck, out of 12 paychecks, so that's 50 times 12, and you put it into THETA Fuel right here. That's what dollar cost averaging is. And then eventually we get back up here. Man, you're going to be so happy. So, but there's no guarantee, and it's not financial advice, and I could be totally wrong. I could be dead wrong, and this could go to zero, and you could lose all your money. So, just understand that. But do you really believe that? I don't think you do. Trump, keep an eye out for this one. It's a newer one, but you know, it's kind of giving me a little bit of a slingshot approach. You know, it's kind of cocking back like a loaded gun about to fire at any moment. Ethereum is the one I wanted to look at. Oh, look at Ethereum. See, that I did not get Ethereum, and I wish I did. I traded it there and there, but you're going to want it. So we broke out. Ethereum has broken out completely. Damn it. I didn't want it to, actually. I'm still not going to... well, I made money on Ethereum, so I can't be too sad, but I wish I would have gotten it just to say I did, you know. But I'm curious to what XRP versus Ethereum looks like. So you could see the W. You could see the W. You could see that, right? So that's important. Now, my first thought would be that we would get resisted up here, but I don't like how we broke above it, because then to me it could be a liquidity grab, right? If we flip it upside down, it actually looks bad. To me it seems like it needs to do this before it does that. So just be on the side of caution here, because when you compare that to XRP, you know, This to me looks more exhausted than this. So I'm going to have to look at the small time frames on this one. Let's go to the daily. Oh yeah, it looks great. So we got this three-way pullback. I did well there. And then you got 1, 2, 3. Look at this three-way pullback, 4. Now you're getting 5. I mean, how lovely is that? Look at that. And we talked about this too. Look at that. Look at that. You had an expanded flat. This looks like 1, 2. This looks like 3. You're going to get 4, then 5. And then it's probably over. So I would not buy Ethereum. I mean, there's just no setup right now. Now, it could just blast off totally, but on the smaller time frames is where I usually enter. I don't enter on the large on the big time frames, but you can see, you know, like a 1, 2, 1, 2. You know, 3, 4, 5. And if that's a 5 wave, if that's a 1 and that's a 2, and this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then you would expect something like this, right? To make it a 1, 2, 1, 2. The issue with Ethereum is this: it needs time to rest because it came way down here and it shot way up there. So trying to get through this resistance on the first try is going to be difficult. And yes, I know it's poking through right now, but I think you're going to get some struggle in here. We'll see. I mean, I could be wrong. We could just blast off, but it just seems like we should chill out a little bit. XRP versus Bitcoin. So what about XRP versus Ethereum? So I have a sad story. So my Casper, I've been staking it on a Casper Dash app, and I didn't know that I was supposed to transfer it to the new app, and I guess I missed the deadline, so I lost all my Casper. So if anyone knows anything about that, that's very unfortunate. I go to the app, I can't even get access to my crypto. It's on an app that doesn't even exist. So I feel like I got ripped off. And that really, really sucks, because I've been staking it for like 2-3 years, and I had a fat chunk, and yeah, I can't even get to my Casper anymore. So I mean, I think that's a scam. They shouldn't do that. They should send you a notification, say, hey, transfer. Like, how would we supposed to know? That really pisses me off. So basically, I lost all that money for no reason. I mean, hopefully I can get it back, but I don't know. I don't know how to get it back. You can't like call customer support and get it. Like it's stuck in an app that I can't access. Ridiculous. Really stupid. The worst feeling in the world is losing money, and I've lost a lot over some time. So XRP versus Ethereum looks nasty. You could see it. It's got a full, that looks bad. That does not look finished to me. This looks like it needs to come down a lot. I don't know, man. And when I say that, that means it's not finished. So this could be 3. It could be a flat like this. That's what I'm thinking. It could come down a little bit more, something like that. And then something like that, and then go up. So that's kind of the best case scenario that I see. So yeah, Ethereum's kicking butt right now compared to XRP. So let's put Ethereum. It's up 5%. Way over 4K. Yeah, I missed it. Damn. That would have been a good trade there. But I got Chainlink, so that was cool. I got AVAX, but it's nowhere near what Ethereum's doing. But Ethereum usually shines first, usually shines better. And like I said, we want Ethereum to do well. We want it to break out, because once Ethereum breaks out, then all bets are off for the rest of the market. So anyways, that'll do it for this video. I think that's it. Keep an eye out for HBAR, like Algorand, ADA, Litecoin, SHIB, Monero, Near. Let's look at Algorand real quick. So, it's okay. I mean, it could be bad because you have this impulse and you have a 3-wave pullback. So it could keep going down, right? If I flip it upside down, you know, you have an impulse, 3-way pullback, another impulse, another 3-way pullback. So this thing can just die. You know, there's a case to say that this is not a good chart. But you could also say that this is a 1, 2, 1, 2, and we're revving up to break out. So, but anyways, I will catch you guys on the next one. Cheers.